Everybody, welcome back to Mike Drop Sports and the Show, Steel City Live. I'm Jason, I'm your host, and again, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. As we get things cranking along here, we'll get some people build up in the chat. If you're not watching now, you can watch it later. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? What's up, Sean? What's up, Skylar? Yeah, I was wondering where he's at, man. Glad to see you in the chat, brother. Yeah, guys, we're just going to keep on moving. I did want to talk about a couple things that I had saw earlier that kind of bugged me a little bit. A lot of people still just writing this Steelers team off, and we haven't even got this season started yet. And it's like, dude, a little way too early, a little way too early here. So I do want to talk about that. I do want to talk about some other things with the draft as we are getting way close. We'll talk about some other stuff that pops up in the chat as you guys put in all your comments, questions, and concerns as we roll through the show. Forgive me a little bit under the weather today, but we are rocking along as usual. What's up, Justin? Hi, why do they think it's going to be a rough season for our Steelers? I'm not sure why, and I think, well, I kind of get why they're saying that. What's up, George? So we're going to dive into that a little bit, Justin. I do think I get it a little bit. You totally rebuilt the quarterback room. Totally. From the ground up. You have nobody in there that you had last year. So that is a big change for any organization, any franchise at the most important position in all of sport. That is the quarterback spot. And the Pittsburgh Steelers totally revamped their whole room. Name one time that of organization, a franchise in the NFL that you can remember just did that, just flipped it over completely. It doesn't happen often. I mean, from top to bottom, you have Russell Wilson, you have Justin Fields, you have Kyle Allen, you'll have somebody else new as a camp arm, as that fourth guy. You will have that player. So, damn. That is probably one of the things that makes this team get picked not maybe to do so well here in 2024. What's up, Mad 15? Oh shit, dude, what was his name? I don't know. What was his name? Hold on, I have it here somewhere. Let me see. There were several people that said it. One of them that I did have brought up here, though. Hold on, let me let my page load here that I had some information written down on, well, typed in on here. Hold on. His name was. No, what is his name? Here it goes. Well, I can't even see his name. He used to be a scout. So what is his name? He used to be a scout. That's the one that stood out to me the most. If I can get the article to load here, we'll talk about him though. We'll talk about what he exactly said here. If I can get it to come on. It was on Steelers Depot. That's who had loaded it up. At least this article that really tipped me over the scales. I've been seeing it for weeks now. Well, not weeks, at least a couple weeks. But he's a former scout. This one's from Alex Kozora, this article. Middlecoff stance? Yeah, that's his name. John Middlecoff. Middlecoff, he used to be a former NFL scout, and he had put that, and that's what really set me up over the edge a little bit. So I'm like, man, dude, I just don't think that you're really looking at the whole picture here when this guy's like talking, and he's talking about, you know, how the future of Mike Tomlin was at a boiling point last year in late December. I can see that. Yes, the changes weren't being made. Mike Tomlin looked stale, stagnant, and not able to continue to move on in a direction that was a positive one for the franchise. That was definitely very apparent, and we saw that. This guy's talking about that, so I'll give him that. But the offseason additions and the way this roster has been manipulated a little bit, the quality of the draft from 2023, when you look at Omar Khan's success last year, Andy Weidel, Mike Tomlin there too. Now you look at the opportunity that sits in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers here in 2024. I don't know how you could just write this team off as a basement dweller just yet. The additions of Patrick Queen was called mediocre. And overrated by this guy. I think that is a far stretch, a little bit too much. I don't think that he should have maybe went there because I think Patrick Queen is a quality, outstanding, all-pro type linebacker. And I think that move definitely warrants more than a mediocrity or mediocre grade in my eyes. I think that was a positive addition when you look at what the Steelers already have in place on defense. You already look at the great edge rush that they have have in TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and I really truly believe Nick Herbig is going to be a star in the NFL. And you saw bits and pieces of that last year in his rookie year, and I think he's going to make some major waves here in 2024. And then you look at the season that Landon Roberts had last year, playing tough, gritty, holding that inside linebacker room together after it was totally decimated by injuries. You look at how he played. I think that that's a positive note. You look at the emergence of Joey Porter Jr., the way he played and became that lockdown, shutdown type guy on the edge. I just think that there's a lot of positive things that happened inside of that defense, even though it was a year that players were riddled with injuries and the defense was beat up. But it showed you what they were able to do on defense and the leadership, holding it all together. And now you're going to have an opportunity with a Minkah Fitzpatrick healthy, with Cameron Hayward healthy, a second-year Keanu Benton who showed me some things last year, a second-year Nick Herbig. You added a little bit to the edge with Dante Jackson, I think, in terms of speed. Joey Porter Jr. in year 2. And we'll see who else they can add and continue to add to this roster on defense. I think it's going to be special. I really, really do. We'll see how it goes, though. But I'll continue to talk about this. Let me catch up on the chat. Justin said, so does that mean our Steelers will be worse than 2023? Some say that, Justin, but we never know, bro. We never know. And when people write them off early, I've been a Steeler fan for a very long time. I've watched them since I was a child. And I have to say, the years that I've seen the Steelers get wrote off and put into the basement early, those are the most magical years for some reason. Maybe that gives the Pittsburgh Steelers a little added motivation to do some good things. So we'll see how that all goes. Miss Pittsburgh in the house, what's up? I seen you there. I just want to make sure I was acknowledging everybody I'd seen in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button as we roll through. I thought it was a mainstream reporter saying it. There are some out there, dude. I just got to dig through all the names. I usually don't just pick through all their stuff. I just kind of read these headlines, which gives me my ideas and my theories and what my thoughts are in my head. And then I kind of go with it from there. But I definitely can look up some more. There's several that have said it. Let's keep going. Jeremiah Yoder, looking forward to seeing what our Pittsburgh Steelers are doing in the 2024 draft, as well as what King Khan has up his sleeve going forward into training camp. Let's go Steelers. Good comment, Jeremiah. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. And I am also looking forward to see what they can do here in 2024. And that brings me to a point here that you just made that brings a point to my head. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now set up right here, guys. And I know it may be hard to believe, but they are setting themselves up for success if things continue to work out the way they have been. In the first year of the Omar Khan era, he got a draft that was absolutely stellar. Got a draft to where you had four players that were contributors early and often. That is a solid start. That is a solid building block for your franchise, especially as your first year as the general manager. And if you look at how this is shaping up and you're heading into 2024, they're getting this building full of guys that believe in that Steeler type way of playing. I don't know if you call it the Steeler way, but I mean just the Steeler way of wanting to play football. They're bringing in Arthur Smith, adding coaches to the staff. They've totally looked at the deficiencies that they had, and it really feels like this season, this offseason, that they have taken the time to correct those deficiencies and not tried to sweep them under the rug. And I find that to be very positive. And you look at Omar Khan's second year here as the general manager. Imagine if he has a draft that was just almost as good, getting 3 players maybe this time instead of 4 that contribute to the roster. That's stellar, guys, and that can set you up for long-term success. And if you look at Russell Wilson and you look at Justin Fields, you have kind of a mix there, a mixed bag. You have Russell Wilson, whom is a wily veteran that's won a Super Bowl, that is in the back end of his career, that is now trying to be in the city of Pittsburgh to not collect cash, but to collect legacy, to collect Lombardis. That is his purpose here. And what if he all of a sudden does really, really well and lights the NFL on fire and you get 2 or 3 good years out of him? You're springboarding yourself into success for a group of years for a fantastic ride. Okay, what if that isn't your long-term plan? You have a guy in Justin Fields that, didn't get it going in Chicago, now comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers to study under a veteran in Russell Wilson. Maybe that gives him the motivation and gives him the tools in order to execute on that high upside that most people have given him. That upside to where player or people think that he can do special things. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers find a way out here pre-made too to give him that a little bit of an extension to secure him for a year or two. They don't have to go out there for get him for 2 years. Just get him under that 1 year to where you don't have to pay that inflated quarterback salary yet again. And that gives what, guys? The Pittsburgh Steelers several seasons here to where they're not paying a monster quarterback salary. That allows you to do one thing: build a damn good roster. And that gives guys that are playing the quarterback position maybe a little bit of excitement, saying, damn, I'm surrounded by quality people. I have a damn good defense. I have some weapons on offense. I have a good coaching staff around me. I have a steady and positive franchise around me. This is where I need to be. Maybe I take a little bit of a discount and give up some of the money in order to be successful long term, in order to gain more and more money in terms of endorsements, in terms of being just noticeable, playing on national TV all the time with one of the premier franchises. Those things come into play, and it's not just all about what check you're getting wrote from your NFL team. There are other variables at play here, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are setting up just right, man. And if things continue to go this way, I think that this could mean some big things for us moving forward, man. I really, really do. Craig Warlow, I know this about the Steelers, but did you hear a NBA player got lifetime banned for betting a prop bet on himself? Do you think there will be more in the future? I think that you shouldn't bet anywhere near your team, your sport, on yourself. You shouldn't bet any of those things. The gambling thing is very tricky and treacherous for any professional sporting organization, NBA, MLB, NFL. It's tricky for any of them to navigate because you really have to be careful with what you're allowing your players to do, what it looks like to the public. You can't ever jeopardize the ability for fans not to think to themselves, are they really rigging this shit? Are they rigging these games? You don't want that thought to ever cross their minds. And you have some of it now, just with the immense amounts of betting that goes on. The way gambling is so incorporated into these games now. You really got to watch that. And if you're these major sports organizations, these pro sports organizations, you have to really do your due diligence, and you have to really watch it, and you have to make sure you make an example out of people that aren't following the rules. And I agree, Craig, with those people giving them lifetime bans. Don't mess around with it. Just stay away from it, man. It's not worth it. Bet when you're done, dude. NFL, not for long. You ain't going to be in the league for a gazillion years, dude. You can wait and not bet for 4 or 5 years on sports. Play, get your time over, then you can bet and do those types of things. But stay away from it if you're an NFL player. Mad 513, I wouldn't mind getting another middle linebacker late in the draft. Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue for me. I'd like that too. Also, he says I'm okay with a down year if it did come to that, better draft position and etc. I think that's a wrong approach if you draft for position. I think it's just wrong. I'm a real firm believer in that you have to draft for best player available. The minute you start reaching and going after position, I think that you just get your mind clouded, your views clouded, and that's not what you're trying to do. And I think the philosophy over the years of going after best player available 99% of the time has paid dividends for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of 6 Lombardi trophies in there. So I do think that is the way to go, and I think that's the way the Steelers handle business 99% of the time. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't reached. I'm not saying that they haven't flopped, because they have inside of the draft. They have when it comes to picking up players. But drafting just out of positional need is the wrong approach. Now, can you incorporate that into your decision? Absolutely, but you still need to make sure that you are taking the best athlete on the board at the time of your selection. And I think that no matter what, that helps you long term because you're collecting quality athletes and you can figure out the rest later. That's just always been my philosophy. Oh, well, your comment didn't say that. You said better draft position, etc., is what I thought. So if I read it wrong, my apologies. But that's what I took it as, that you wanted to draft for position as opposed to talent. That's just my theory, my stance on it. But if I read it wrong again, my apologies. Jeremiah Yoder, I feel our Steelers are in for a good season despite what some so called experts are saying about our favorite team. Yeah, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Is there a great chance that they could flop and flounder and have a bad year, have a down year? Absolutely, they could. Absolutely. It's very easy for that to happen for your team. But when you look at these so called football experts out there, some of which have never even played football, that don't know anything about it, commenting about every team in the league, it's hard to know all the intimate details. And I'm not knocking them. They're all intelligent people. They all know what they're talking about in a way. But when you're commenting about 28 teams or all 32 teams, rather, it becomes difficult to know all the intricacies, all the intimacies of those particular franchises that you're commenting on. Yes, you're painting it with a broad brush. You're going off the headlines that you see, but you're not taking into account the depth pieces that are on the roster. You're not taking into account some of the things that you got to see the year before while you watch these players play and getting to see them grow, and you're not taking into consideration all those like little things. Hey, maybe this guy's going to slide over here this year. We saw some great hope from him last year in certain situations, in certain packages. So we're going to slide him around and make him a little bit more versatile. Maybe that analyst isn't even seeing those types of little intricacies. Maybe they're just not seeing the big picture, and that's what I think is going on. And I think that they write teams off prematurely, and I think they crown teams prematurely. I think that they look at some of these draft picks. They'll say, oh, the Bears got Caleb Williams this year. Man, they're going to win a Super Bowl. They're loaded up. Caleb Williams is the best. I don't know that. Nobody knows that. I just think that you really need to understand every little intricacy of a team before you really, really bash on them and say, yeah, the moves they've made, they're just flops. You haven't even seen those moves inside of the building yet. You haven't even seen those moves out on the football field as a collective group. And what do we say it's all about? Is team, man. It's all about team. Craig Werlow, I think Brandon will be traded after the draft. He will force the 49ers' hand by not signing the extension, and then it will be draft capital next year. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Ayuk is out. And you look at the 49ers, guys. They're a team similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the way they handle player personnel issues. They don't like it to be just announced out in the media everywhere. They try to keep things a little bit closer to the vest. They try to be a more player-friendly type franchise, and I think that is an admirable thing. I just don't think that they want their business out there, and they don't want to say, hey, this is what we're going after in the draft because we're getting rid of this guy, and announcing your moves. This is a chess match, man. And you got to play that chess match every second of the day in the NFL. You can't let your guard down. And you got to keep as much information in-house as absolutely possible. You don't want the teams that are picking before you in this draft to know your true needs, to know your true plan, to know exactly what your desires are on moving forward and how you want to construct this roster. You want to keep some of that a little bit of a secret. You want to be able to go in and catch some of them off guard to where maybe if they were going to draft a player that you want, maybe they don't because, hey, maybe they don't think you need them or something. Just weird shit like that. You want to keep things close to the vest, man. It might help you out a little bit and not just announcing your business to everybody. I think that is a quality thing that needs to happen. Whatever that message was, I don't know. Oh, Sean got that one. Okay, must not have been good. What's up, D? I wish the Steelers would find a way to get Brock Purdy. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Big Stretch, what's up? Not much, man. He's a great man. I hope so, man. I hope Justin Fields pans out. I'd like to see him get that fresh opportunity. I think he deserves that. I think he went to the Chicago Bears and he was placed with the franchise on his shoulders. And you look at that this year. Anybody that's drafted to these weaker teams that have less of a roster and they're picking in the top 5, top 10, there's usually a reason that they're there. And that's because they suck and the franchise is in trouble. It's just what it is. They're in a very tumultuous time period, and you're going to a team in which you're going to have to put it on your shoulders, put that franchise on your shoulders. And you have to look at these guys when you're drafting them. It's not all about their ability on the football field. Are they able to mentally handle that type of pressure to carry a multi-billion-dollar organization on their shoulders and handle that type of heat, man? It's big, and that it plays a big variable into this. And I just don't think that they account for that sometimes. Yes, hey, maybe he is the guy. We don't know, but I'm just there's been a lot of misses at the top of the draft. It's very, very hard. I wouldn't want to pick at the top of the draft. I have to say that. I wouldn't want to be in the top 5. I just don't want to. First, that means your team really sucks in general, usually, unless you made a trade or something to get up there. But that means your franchise is usually in a very rough patch. So I don't want to pick there for that reason. And I don't want to pick there because I think you can whiff and whiff big because there's these hyped up players from the media, these hyped up players that might not translate to the NFL very well. And you're spending a high value pick on them. And to get the return on your investment is a big, big gamble. Big gamble. Just because I really like that kid. I do too. I think he's pretty cool. I interviewed a kid from Chicago today, and he acted like they were all pissed to lose Fields. I do think the fan base enjoyed Fields there. I do think that he was liked throughout the community from what I see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they liked him. I do. I just think that he failed in the situations that he was put in. He's put in tough spots, man. Changing of the guard a couple times while he's there. This kid's going into his 4th season, looking ahead at a 5th season. Hasn't even got through his first contract yet. This is his 3rd offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith, his 2nd team already. He's had the burden of carrying a franchise that was not working well with him, that wasn't giving him the necessary tools to succeed. And it's just the facts. It is what it is. I know we have some Bears fans that watch, and I feel for them in that way that their franchise is in a little bit of a mess. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that all pans out for them and they can see some winning football. But man, this guy has not had a great opportunity, and we'll see how that all unfolds in the city of Pittsburgh and possibly having a more stable place, a more steady franchise to grow, to cultivate some of the things that he needs to skill-wise in order to be a top-shelf NFL quarterback. Justin Fields has some issues that really concern me. I don't think he can throw people open. He doesn't have great anticipation. I feel like that he's not good inside of the pocket, and I feel like he really wants to run first. That's what he's looking to do, and I think he really has to break some of those habits. Learn how to stand tall. You learn how to utilize his weapons that is available to him in terms of his own skill set, like a strong arm. Use your vision, man. Really start to learn how to anticipate these guys, throwing them open and learning how to gain some chemistry with some of them. Really take advantage of this offseason. And guys, there's a problem with the NFL right now. When you see the shortened amount of time in the preseason, there isn't as much time to get the quality of reps. Yes, you're playing a lot of football in shorts, shit like that, t-shirt and shorts, maybe a helmet on, but you need to get in there full live, 11 on 11 type simulations to really gain the skills that you need to gain, and there's very limited reps doing that. So these guys are at a little bit of a disadvantage, especially the guys that are looking to grow. They really have limited opportunity to do that, and that's why I feel like Justin Fields can't upset Russell Wilson here going into the season as the starter. Russell's going to be the starter, and it's not because Justin may not be better than him. We don't know that yet because he hasn't got the opportunity, but he's not going to get the amount of reps that are going to be needed to sway the coaching staff's mind, to sway the eyes of the coaches. We'll see how this all goes, but yeah, very limited reps. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button here for us on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. As we move through the show here on Mic Drop Sports, I appreciate your likes, comments, questions, concerns, and we will try to answer all the questions as we move through. Who are the top five Steelers of all time in your opinion, other than Troy P? I don't know if you can list top five Steelers without Troy P. He's one of my favorites, but Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, Roger Stallworth, not Roger Stallworth. Why did I say that? John Stallworth, excuse me, sorry. How many's that? Four. And I'll give you another one, Franco. There's my top five. I'll just say those off the top of my head. I like those 70s Steelers. They really embodied exactly what I think a Steeler should be. And I hope that that's what, starts to happen again. I just like to see that type of team, man. The way they were built, the way they constructed, the way those guys fought for what they loved. And that was Steeler football. Mel Mills, if you had to choose between our offensive tackle and center, which one would you draft? No Big Ben. I didn't put Big Ben in there. I like those 70s guys. Now, if you're talking more modern era guys, I can make a little bit different list. I just think the Steelers have such a rich history. It's hard to put top five together because I think you got a couple different eras that were really, really good. But Mel's question about the offensive tackle or center, I go with the best player available at those two positions. We'll say you're picking, say they trade back, they're about 26 to 28, and there is a quality tackle there, maybe like a Tyler Guyton, somebody like that that's still there. And then maybe you have Jackson Powers Johnson still there. Who are you willing to take? Who are you willing to rest your future on? Are you comfortable with what you have inside of the building at tackle and Dan Moore Jr.? Do you feel like you need to get a guy? That's the questions you got to ask. And who is the better athlete out of the two players that you have the position of need for? I think that would maybe determine that. But I would choose probably a center, to be honest with you, if like a Jackson Powers Johnson's there. His concussions scare me, so I really think that Zach Frazier is the best answer. I feel like he has the best base. I feel like he has the most experience, which he does at the center position. I feel like his wrestling background really helps him out in terms of being able to control that initial jolt, that initial hit, that initial collision to where he is able to control the leverage. And I really like the way he plays, man. And I think he fits. And I think he's just athletic enough to be able to do things that are going to be required of him at the next level. The pulling, the getting downfield and blocking. And I think he's smart enough to be able to make the correct calls and adjustments across the offensive line and be the leader. I just really like the experience level, and that's where I really start to lean towards Zach Frazier. His aggressive nature, I feel like he doesn't get stood up as much, which is something I like too. So we'll see. I don't think you need to get a center in round one. I think Zach Frazier could be there if you maybe move up in round two and do it that way. No Big Ben yet. And Explore Your World 2019. I'd like a small trade down in the first. Pick up an extra pick and then a larger trade up in the second, take care of both offensive line positions right away. Yeah, I like the trade back idea. I really do. I think as much draft capital as you can possibly build up for yourself as a franchise in the second and third rounds. I think with the way this draft is, the quality of players, the depth inside of this draft, I really think it could pay big dividends to a franchise. If you are picking a lot inside of those second and third rounds, I think that you could really make some big moves for your team and really shore up some holes, man. Definitely. I like that idea too. What's up, C Steelers? All right, guys, I'm going to get a drink, but make sure you're hitting that like button as we move through the show here. The likes are down. Let's crank it up. Let's smash that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Also, guys, we're about to hit that 3,000 mark, so hit that subscribe. Also, we are getting very close. Just need a couple hundred more, and we are there. Front row at the fight. Jerome Bettis is the greatest skill position player in Steeler history. This is from an outsider's perspective. He was a good one. I don't know if he's the greatest skill position player in Steeler history. I think there's some better ones, but it's hard to deny Franco Harris's ability. He could do it all. Jerome Bettis is a guy that could really wear down defenses. I think that he was a valuable asset and a true Hall of Famer, and he went out on top just the way he should have, the way he deserved. I think Jerome Bettis is one of those top guys, man, but I don't think he's the best skill player that the Steelers have ever had at the skill positions. We'll see, though. Others may argue that point too, but a good pick nonetheless. Jeremiah Yoder, Joe Green became my favorite Steelers player when I became a Steelers fan back in 1975. That's awesome, man. He's my favorite Steeler player also. He's the guy that turned this franchise around. He's the guy that turned this thing around to the reason that you as a fan have that talking piece of saying, hey, Six Lombardi sit down on South Water Street. He's the reason this franchise turned around. He is it, in my eyes. I think that Joe Green was that pivotal piece that was able to springboard this franchise and Chuck Noll and the Rooneys into a different atmosphere, man, into a different realm of playing ball. Justin Fields, we kind of did steal him because you guys gave him away for basically nothing. Back a handful of dirty pocket lint is what I call it. Explore your world. I think you're sure up right tackle and center with a pick in the mid to late 20s and a pick in the mid 30s. Yeah, I think you can pick up a lot of players. I think you could shore up the tackle position even later in the draft. Second, third round guys. I think you could do that too. I think you could really make some moves. There's some depth here, man. And it's not a desperation mode for the Pittsburgh Steelers in round one. It definitely isn't. That's why I think a trade back is of utmost importance, because I think you can still figure out all of your holes and fix them and still gain some draft capital to add some extra in there. Maybe you get 2 wide receivers in this draft. Maybe you are able to get one of those quality, really high level cornerbacks that if you put that beside Joey Porter Jr. on the opposite side, you put that guy there, you could really have a lockdown type defense because you're securing the edges in a big way, your pass rushes in a big way, and maybe Cam's healthy, maybe Keanu really grows. Those types of guys in the middle, you have Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts, maybe those guys really shine. I think that they are going to be a plus inside of the run game. I think that's going to free up guys like Minka and the rest of the safety duo back there to be able to roam around and be ball hawks and really make some big plays that way, be able to really pay attention to play action pass and things of that nature and not have to bite on the play fakes as much, to be able to help and come down with the run whenever they were really limited with a injured Cam Hayward, injured at linebacker. I think that you saw some of the injuries that Minka accrued because of that. He had to really play that run game a lot, come down in the box a lot, and I think this Pittsburgh Steelers maybe want to limit that a little bit this year. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on that, though. What's up, Toby Craig? Steelers couldn't keep up with the Titans. They couldn't? Toby, they couldn't? Come on, bro. Ryan Dorn. What's up, little Kenny Kit Mittens? Today is a good day to be alive. Absolutely. Any day that Kenny Kit Mittens isn't on your team is a great day to be alive. You are right about that. Explore your world. Wide receiver and cornerback can wait till later in day 2. I think you could. That's what I mean. There's no desperation because I think you can fill these holes either day. You could start to fill them round 1, or you can really pick up the pace and get it done in day 2. So I just don't think there's any type of desperation. And that is another quality about Omar Khan, guys, that we have to really, truly admire. He never seems desperate. And he's not afraid to let you go. He's not afraid to move on from players, as we've seen so far during his short tenure. He is a guy that will move on and move on quickly and not really give 2 shits. And I like that. I like that backbone that he has, man. Tell me something good. What have I missed so far? Nah, not too much. We've just been going. Wow, we've been already going for 33 minutes. That's crazy. With one exception, should a blue chip player fall to 20 because, say, 5 quarterbacks go at the top, you don't pass on blue chip player at any position. No, you don't. You take the best player available that's there. And if that happens to be one of those, like what you're calling them, blue chip type guys that are highly coveted, guys that the Steelers highly covet, then pull the trigger, yes. But guys, here's one thing. Just because the national media props some of these players up to be top shelf We'll use what you said there, blue chip players. We'll use that term. That doesn't necessarily mean that that player would fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That doesn't necessarily mean they fit in that scheme. That doesn't necessarily means that the Steelers don't have them ranked up that high. Maybe the Steelers seen something in them that, really turned them off. So that player may not rank high up on their board. And if you're a smart, intelligent general manager, you're a smart franchise, you don't play anybody else's board. You don't worry about what the national media props up, which players they're propping up. You worry about what your talent evaluators have put out there. You worry about the way you've constructed your draft board, and you play your draft board. No looking over at what other people are doing. You focus on exactly what your game plan was, and you follow that to the T. When you start to waver and you start to go off and go rogue, that's when you can get in trouble, man. There's very few people that can make quality, good decisions on the fly like that. You need to have some structure to your draft board and have your players, like a list of players over there, and say, hey, if these players are available, no matter what our positional needs are, we're going to yank on them. We're going to grab them, man. We're going to yank them out of the draft and pick them up and put them on our ball club. Mel Blount had a role made after him, straight beast. Absolutely big stretch. One of the best. It's so hard, dude, to name those 70s Steelers, and it's so hard to name a top five in a great franchise with such rich history. It's really hard to deny how many quality players have come out of the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, and I feel like it hurts some of our modern day players, and it hurts their ability to get inside of the Hall of Fame, because I think the Hall of Fame is so concerned that the Pittsburgh Steelers pollute Canton, Ohio, with so many players there that they sometimes maybe pull back and limit a little bit of what the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to get in there. But you look at a guy like Hines Ward, in my eyes, he's a true Hall of Famer. I really, truly believe that. Hines Ward was special, but does he have the numbers? Maybe not, but he was a special player. I felt like he changed the game in my eyes at the receiver position. A guy that played with real heart. Those are the guys that make that Hall of Fame special to me. Guys that play like that. Then you look at guys like Mel Blount, Jack Ham, L.C. Greenwood, all these guys, man, that were just so special, man. So many that won't end up getting in the hall, some that are in the hall, hey, it's full of Steelers, and that's something to be really, really proud of. Front row at the fight. The bus was a 250-pound running back with the ability to juke and truck linebackers. Hey, you remember that Chicago game. And breakaway speed, and he could catch, an amazing talent. Absolutely he was. Can't argue it. One of my favorite Steelers of all time. One of my favorites. When that game you just brought up there, when he ran over Brian Urlacher, and that was his last 100-yard game of his career, and it came at a time when the Pittsburgh Steelers truly and desperately needed that game from Jerome Bettis. They needed the bus to put on his mud tires, and he did exactly that. That moment in Jerome Bettis' career was one of his shining, one of his better moments of throughout his whole career. That game was needed so desperately from that team. They were relying on his ability to get the job done so much in that game, and that meant so much to that season. And I know he had a fumble later in the year in the playoffs that almost cost the Steelers a trip to Denver. But I think that game more than made up for it against the Chicago Bears that day, because I don't think anybody else could have done what Jerome Bettis did that day in the snow and the mud and the nastiness and take over a ball game the way he took over that game and running people over. The special moment that he provided us as Steeler fans that day is one of the top all-time Steeler moments ever. And I know it's a regular season game, but it meant so, so much. Explore your world. It's not difficult to find a slot corner in the third or fourth, and it's not difficult for the Steelers of all teams to find a quality wide receiver in the third or fourth. No, it's not. Can't argue that either. They can find it, and that's what I mean. And that's what you keep saying here with what your draft analysis is on where they should really pick people. And you're saying here in your next comments to really tackle and center should be the focus of the top of the draft, unless, like I said, blue chip player falls to them at another position. You gotta just really, really focus on best player available. I firmly believe that. But like you're saying, and I keep bringing up this point, there is no desperation. It's a deep draft, and like you said, they won't have trouble finding those players probably later in mid rounds, deeper in the draft. So that is one good thing that should give us a little bit of hope that the Pittsburgh Steelers won't do what we don't want them to do, and that is reach for a player and overvalue a player and take them at a draft position that doesn't warrant their talent level, that doesn't warrant their play style, their fit with the scheme. Definitely, you really got to pay attention to all those variables, but you're right. There's no desperation here. And guys, I think this draft will pan out to be a good one. I really, really do. I think the depth is there. I think the ability from Omar Khan is there. I think having Andy Weidel on this staff really pays big, monster dividends that maybe people don't look at. I really, truly think Andy Weidel is a pivotal piece of why the Steelers have had success this offseason so far. Let's keep going. George, when was the last time the Steelers picked in the top 10 in the draft? Good question. I want to say Devin Bush is the last time they traded up that far to get a top 10 pick. And that one was a flop. That was a big miss. They got the wrong Devin in that situation. They needed Devin White there instead of Devin Bush. Big Hurt. Got to give Hines his flowers. Fields needs this year to learn. Get the bear out of his system. And I think Trice and Porter going to be dangerous this year. Yeah. It's hard for me, though, to put all my eggs in the Corey Trice basket. I love the kid. The man. I love that man. I think he has some ability that is exceptional. And I think if he can remain healthy and get back on track, I think he could really be a true Steeler, a guy that really plays the brand of football that the Pittsburgh Steelers want. So my fingers are crossed for Corey Trice because I really am pulling for that guy. I hope that he really does some big things in his NFL career, whether it's in Pittsburgh or not. I really, really hope he ends up succeeding in overcoming that injury from his rookie season. And I definitely think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be nice. I think he's going to be nasty. And you're right. Got to give Hines those flowers, baby. Hold on. Explore your world. Trice is definitely X factor. If they can get something out of that guy, that would be awesome because he has some potential. He was projected as the third rounder. We got him in the 7th. Absolutely. And I love him, man. And you're right. He could be an X factor. He could really make a big difference. Go ahead, guys, and think of this a little bit. You have Joey Porter Jr. over there. They got Dante Jackson in the trade with the Panthers for Deontay Johnson. That adds a little bit more speed to that cornerback room. You got rid of the older guy in Patrick Peterson, but hey, you still got a guy like Darius Rush, and you still got a guy with high upside, and also in Corey Trice that could really, prove to be something special. We don't know yet. Am I putting all my eggs in that basket? No. But what if the Pittsburgh Steelers get one of these quality cornerbacks, man? I think that adding one more guy like that, somebody that's really special, like a Joey Porter Jr., could really pay big dividends, man, and make this defense instantly a hell of a lot better because why? That also adds some flexibility to move guys around into that slot position cornerback role. That could help. Having guys like Corey Trice and Rush and all them being able to slide down in the slot, play some different packages. I really think it could create a good mix, a good vibe in that cornerback room that could be special, man. It really, really could be. And Corey Trice is an X factor. Thank you, Explorer. Appreciate you, brother. Regan, love the Steelers. Like the Toledo corner, Mitchell. Yeah, I think Quignon's going to be gone early. Sadly, though. I wish we could get him, too. Yeah, he is an absolute rocket ship. Absolutely. No doubt. A lot of teams do that, but the Steelers stick to their own big board. Yes, that's hopefully what they continue to do. Thank you, Dominic. What's up? Appreciate it. I'm just catching up in the chat here, guys. I'm going to get a drink. Make sure you're hitting that like button for me as we continue to move through. We have 13 likes. That's crazy. 43 minutes in. Let's crack the shit out of that like button. It's free, it's easy, and it helps your creators create content. Without hitting those likes, it makes things difficult. I'm just thinking that there's a big run on quarterbacks. There's a big run on wide receivers, and either the corners or the tackles will get ignored. Most of the mocks I'm seeing the corners get ignored. Yeah, you just never know the runs. That's the real issue. It could happen at any position, and that's really the thing that you have to focus on while you're like the general manager and you're sitting back and watching this thing unfold towards you and how this is all going to play out. You really got to watch What positions are taking those runs, man? Where are people getting desperate? Where are these trades happening? Which players are they pulling out of the trades? The runs are very ultra important inside of figuring out what you're going to do and how these players are going to fall to you, because it also dictates maybe whether you're going to trade back or not, especially with these runs. Like you say there, maybe a quarterback run goes, and that drops another player that may have been taken in that area and drops them back on the board where people aren't really looking at them anymore. People don't need that player per se. And that player that you need maybe is just falling back to you. And it falls into your lap at 20 instead of trading back. But maybe, there's an abundance of those players that you like at a certain position. So you look at the board and you say to yourself, let's make a deal with a Buffalo, with the Arizona Cardinals, one of those types of teams, and, grab another second or third round pick, maybe a couple extra picks, and allow them to come up here, because we're going to still get our guy back there at 26, 27, 28. Jeremiah Yoder, the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, needs to build a all new Steelers wing to the building. Yeah, I agree, man, no doubt. Yeah, it was awesome, man, when he run over Urlacher. They have a bad track record. Try like Pat together with center. They need to take a real center fairly high. Yeah, we'll see. They need a guy with experience, and that's why I say Zach Frazier was the big one. Yeah, Roethlisberger was 11th overall. Devin Bush was 10, I believe. Justin Fields, I think, has the potential to come here and learn, man. I definitely think that this is a golden opportunity for Justin Fields. That's what I really think of what he needs to do, is really sit down and analyze what he thinks his future looks like inside of an NFL helmet. And I think that maybe staying with the Steelers more long-term and cutting a deal with them instead of them picking up that 50-year option is probably imperative to his long-term success in my eyes. Troy Miles, when Omar draft press conference. When is it? They usually do it after the draft or after each round, I believe. I'm not sure. I can't remember how they did it last year, but we'll see. But it'll be around that time. It's possible that Trice could pan out and you don't even need another outside corner when Jackson is done. Really just need a slot corner this season. You never know. You never know. As far as wide receiver goes, everybody is all worried about who's the number 2 in the Arthur Smith offense. It doesn't even matter that much beyond the number 1. That's a lot of heavy sets. Yeah, here's the thing. You just don't know what Arthur's going to do this year. He could add a different wrinkle. He may not be that same guy, and if he's smart, he probably won't be that same guy. He'll probably use some of the things that he did, and like you said, heavy jumbo packages. But definitely, I think he needs to add some wrinkles, man. And I definitely think he needs to add some new tricks. And you still got to have a number 2. You got to have a number 2. Is it the end of the world if they don't pick up somebody else? No, but you're putting a lot of pressure on a George Pickens, and then you're putting a lot of stock into those guys that you have that are a bunch of number 4s and number 5s that remain on the roster at the wide receiver position. You don't have anybody that's a 2-3 type guy yet. We'll see how Calvin Austin really emerges in possibly his second year. Not really, but it's his third, but it's really his second in my eyes. So we'll see how that all plays out, but there is a lot of variables at play there, and I think Arthur Smith is going to utilize a lot of different sets, and I really think he's going to be a little bit harder to pick up on. I definitely think there's going to be some wrinkles put into his offense this year. What's up, Tyler? We're all good, man. What's new? Nothing much. Just talking Steelers, talking football. I'm totally on board with what you're saying about Buffalo or Arizona trading back. The kind of thing that you wait and see. You guys got to wait. Let it all play out to you guys. Let it all play out. Let that draft board come to you. Fishy Sports Edits. Steelers are butt. Come on, bro. Come on. Ravens suck. You got Lamar Jackson. You're paying him $50 million a year, and he's never going to win you a Super Bowl. I mean, facts, bro. Facts, bro. MT Bows. Steelers needs to MT Bows. Come on, dude. And heavy packages. Man, that's dumb. That was a dumb one. It wasn't even that funny, bro. All right. Also, I haven't seen anybody but myself say that Calvin Austin III just might take a leap this year. Everybody discounts him because he's small, and there are plenty of cases of small receivers succeeding. I don't know how long you've watched me But I've given Calvin Austin quite a bit of props, and I've really put a lot of stock into him over last season, and I thought that he was underutilized, definitely, and I thought that he could make a leap then. But you're right, we don't know, and we'll see how he goes. But what limits Calvin Austin in what you said, even with Arthur Smith's offense? If you're running a lot of heavy, big time heavy packages, 12, 13 personnel, you're looking at a guy like Calvin Austin and you're saying to yourself, is he going to be able to do the blocking that is necessary down the field? That's where, that could run into an issue for Calvin. We'll see. I think he's a tough guy. I think he can do some special things, but I just don't think that his physical attributes are going to be enough in those heavier packages. And if Arthur Smith does a ton of that, he isn't going to get a ton of snaps in my eyes. But we'll see how it goes. Ravens are him. Who's him? They're a franchise. They can't be him. They can't be an individual. They're a team, Fishy. Come on. Come on. I'm not your dad. George Teston. Ravens were him last year. What happened? Yeah, they suck, dude. Lamar ain't it, dude. I don't care what anybody says. When he puts a ring on his finger, that's when I'll give you some props. But he ain't going to put a ring on his finger because he ain't that guy. He ain't built for that, man. He just ain't. He's a cool dude in the media and stuff. I feel like he's a nice guy and all that shit. I feel like he's a phenomenal athlete. But he ain't that dude that's going to win you a Lombardi, man. You just ain't going to hoist the trophy with Lamar. It is what it is. I know people argue it. Yeah, he's awesome. He's an awesome athlete. Yes, he is. But he ain't that guy, man. He ain't that franchise type guy. The Steelers just made trade for a receiver before the draft even happens, though. It seems like they've been trying to do that. I don't think it would happen before. I think it will happen after. I think they're waiting for the value of these guys to go down a great deal. And I think that they'll find that value really plummet after the draft. Why? Because people are going to get their players in place from the draft. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting the shit out of the like button for me. I'd appreciate it. We're at 14 likes, which is absolutely shit. So I know I've got more than 14 comments. So let's light that like button up here as we move through the show here on Steel City Live. I'm Jason, and this is Mike Drop Sports. I don't think a lot of people realize how big a pickup Patrick Queen is. Not only the player we've needed since we've lost Shazier, but we take him off a divisional rival. Absolutely, he is a big player, and a lot of people are discounting that. And that was part of what I was talking about with this guy, John Middlecoff, former NFL scout, talking about how pedestrian it was and how much stock people were really putting into the Patrick Queen move. And I think that he's really off base with that. And if that's your take and that's your assumption of what Patrick Queen is, I think you're really not really watching football in my eyes. That's just what I think. I think he's way off base there. Stephen Carpenter, what's up? Calvin Austin III only played one season, and it was with Kitten Mittens. I believe in him as a solid number 3. Hopefully, man, fingers crossed. I think he got some special talent, and I think whenever he was able to utilize that talent, he did shine. He had a touchdown in the regular season. He had a touchdown in the playoffs. That's big time, and I like that. I like that a lot, man. Definitely like that a lot. All right, let me get to this page. Sorry, guys, I'm just refreshing my stuff here. I like to always refresh as we go in case anything pops up. Regardless of how good Lamar is, the Steelers seem to have his number. Absolutely, they do. But yeah, they're a regular season nightmare, but a playoff shit stain. Sometimes the Steelers will miss on a linebacker in the draft, but once a linebacker has NFL tape, if the Steelers bring that guy in, he almost always works out. We'll see. We'll see. And you see, years ago, even a guy like James Farrier coming in and getting it done. That was pretty cool. Yeah, you've seen it before. They have whiffed before. Devin Bush, example one there. They made a big-time pick with Ryan Shazier. He was absolutely awesome. Devastating injury. That sucks. But yeah, you see the Pittsburgh Steelers now value that and bring in Patrick Queen, and we'll see how it all works out because I think he could definitely be special. Thank you, Alaska. Alaska the Cat Demon. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you watching. Thank you. Farrier, yep, he was it. I like Farrier. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button as we continue through the show here. Make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns in, man. We're almost getting to the hour mark where we'll start to wind down here on Steel City Live. Don't forget, Sean and I will be live during the draft, so we're going to have that for the first round. So come watch our coverage and not listen to stupid-ass people like Mel Kiper with their slick back hair talking about things that aren't never going to happen and things that are really ultra stupid moves most of the time. Maybe come over with us and talk actual like real shit and have fun doing it instead of hearing people like him. Hey, I really like the takes. Good show, everybody. Have a good night. Have to go. All right, man. Thank you for your comments, brother. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, guys, we're going to start winding down here. We usually go about an hour. I really have been feeling ultra shitty today, man. We've been passing a sickness around the house here for a day or two, and it is not good. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this tonight, but man, dude, it has been freaking rough. It has been rough. I hope I didn't lead on too bad that I was sick. I've been trying to be up as upbeat as possible, absolutely. But man, has it been a tough go. So what's everybody into? It's all right, D. Thank you, brother. What's everybody else into on this fine day? The weather, if you're living here in the northeastern part of the country, has at least been good here in the, Pennsylvania, West Virginia area, all that good shit. Also, guys, I'll warn you, at the end of the month, we're going to be moving. So the show for about, I don't know, we'll see, for a month probably while our new house is being ready and all that kind of shit. Might not be in the same little studio. We'll be moving around a little bit here as we get our new house ready. So expect those types of changes, but we'll be definitely moving on. Ohio says the weather's terrible. I'm sorry, man. It's been good here, dude. 70s. We had some rain this morning, a little thunderstorm last night, but hopefully y'all are safe and it's not too bad out there in Ohio. That was from Ohio Mapping. D. It's hot as hell here in Texas, hitting 90. Yeah, man, when I was in McAllen, Texas, dude, it was 90 plus every damn day, like 100 degrees. And it was hotter than hell, dude. Woo. Shit, it never was cold there, bro. Crazy epic journey. There you go, Sean. Make sure you go hit Sean's channel, guys. He's going to be putting up some new content. I think he said tonight or tomorrow, I think he said. So make sure you guys go hit that for him and like that up. Just leading lunch at work. Man, big stretch. Glad you joined us on your lunch break, brother. Appreciate that. Sports up. Good day. What's up? What's up, my good man? Danny George, great show. Always watch 2 times a day. Greetings from West Virginia. Thank you, Danny George. Maybe we'll run into each other one day here in the great state of West Virginia if you're ever in the Morgantown area. Damn, couldn't get that out. Yeah, man, maybe we'll run into each other. I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like from this. So make sure you stop me. Say, what's up, bro? We'll put a picture of each other. We'll take a picture together and put it on our channel so we could say, hey, we actually did meet up. That'd be pretty cool. Anybody else in West Virginia, always keep your eyes peeled, man. I'll talk to you somewhere. I'm always out and about somewhere doing some things. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up. I know it hasn't been quite an hour, but I appreciate you guys, your support, all that, man. It's been really cool. I had a lot of good comments today. You guys have been awesome, but definitely not feeling the best, so I'm going to hop off here. The voice is sore, but hey, that's a typical week here. We go hard, man. We go hard every day. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that show goes, but we'll be on at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. What'd you say there? Ohio Mapping said something. Been to West Virginia once and it was pretty cool. It's good scenery, man. It's good scenery, definitely is. I got to get out and about a little bit more in West Virginia and explore some of this mountain area. I grew up in Pennsylvania, the Fayette County, Pennsylvania area. Beautiful woods, beautiful river area, just really, really special. And West Virginia is pretty similar here in the Appalachian Mountain chain. So I definitely need to do some more exploring here in the West Virginia area for sure. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, Big Stretch. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, guys, I'm definitely going to bounce off, though. Thank you so much. And until tomorrow, we'll be back with another big day. Hey, from Oregon, what's up? Big Steelers fan, Barbara Payne, what's up? Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. All right, guys. This is Mike Drop Sports. This is the show Steel City Live. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live show, and our daily upload will be up before 10 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure you check us out and hey, smash that like button. Give us some love on that like button. So until tomorrow, guys, I'm Jason. Peace.